engaging with our members. And really that responsibility is focused on our members' happiness and satisfaction. In fact, she's here. Her name is Valerie Bradley. And so that's one particular initiative that we took in order to recognizing the unique landscape that Dubai has and how that affects our members and how we can counter that force to ensure that people are bonded, ensure that our office is there right in the middle trying to connect these people and make sure that their engagement and happiness is found.
Great. I'm conscious of time. I want to talk to Anne quickly about Enova, had a rebranding recently. The drivers of happiness are very diverse. We could spend 10 sessions discussing each one, but one that always comes up is the environment. So we often feel we have a moral obligation to look after the environment, but of course it also directly affects our happiness, from the clean air, fresh water, open green spaces, you take your pick. The work that you do at Enova, how do you think that contributes to happiness through the environment?
Yeah, I think to understand how we contribute to people's happiness, it's important to understand where we come from. We are a joint venture between Majid and Futtaim, and so dealing with leisure, pleasure, retail, all those facilities that definitely bring happiness in the Middle East. And we are also a joint venture with Veolia, the world leader in environmental services, meaning that in our day-to-day operation, we have two mottos ringing bells. The first one is bringing happiness, creating great moments for everyone, every day, the one of Majid al-Futtaim, and resourcing the word, the one coming from Veolia. We have created Enova's values based on those two important things. We are doing facilities and energy management. This is our core business. And our first innovation has been focused on bringing more performance in our operation. We need to understand, as someone said, what we do and how we do it. So we have worked with the latest innovation, latest technology, towards having a proper digital roadmap, bringing more clarity in the data that we are giving to our clients. Again, improving our operation, being more performant, supporting our clients in having more efficiency in their utility consumption, and bringing also more transparency in addition to reduction of costs. So I think that was the first level of happiness, definitely, with those factors. Then as Tim Jones said this morning, having data about what we're doing is nothing if we don't know what to do with it. So this is very important to us, and it has been also the first stage of innovation. In 2014, Enova has opened the very first energy saving center, where this is based in Dubai, and we monitor from this energy saving center the consumption in real time of our clients, allowing us to act immediately on operation to make sure that their energy consumption is always under control. This is a kind of hypervision platform. So that was also very important because it allows us and our clients to make sound decisions, which is the more difficult when you have so many data coming from everywhere. Yep. That was the first step. But then we have had the willingness of also including the citizens' feedback in this one. So we have imagined smart city dashboard. And as an example of what it means, it's put together the technical performance and the social network flows in order to fit the dashboard open to authorities and enabled representatives with the feedback from the citizen. Yeah. It gives a lot to the citizen as well, because they have a platform where to express themselves and say what they think of the services. As an example of this one, we have created an integrated water management center, which would fit perfectly the Expo, for example, because this is, again, a real-time management of the water networks, but it also allows to secure the quality of water that you have at any time.
And just one question then, before we pass it over to the audience. it's interesting how we can link the work that you do to happiness more broadly. Going back to the very start and people's reaction when they hear happiness as a goal of the public sector or of the private sector. Culturally, in a company like yours, as the boss, if you wanted to bring in happiness or well-being as a direct objective of the company, how is that going to be responded to? I mean, are people at a point now where they can take that seriously, or is it still a bit of cynicism that will be the first reaction?
No, they definitely take it seriously. You know, bringing together the technical part of what you do with your day-to-day life definitely creates the feeling to belong to a community. Let me quickly talk about the third step of innovation. That this is a mobile application that we have created along with Veolia. So we have been much further after the smart city dashboard, because in this one, actually, we're gathering information about the day-to-day life of citizens. And this allows our people to also think as citizens when they come at work, which is very important. As Dalya mentioned, they feel that they participate in the creation of the community. So this Urban Pulse, this is the name of our mobile application, goes much further than the technical part of it, the water management, the energy management, and the waste management. It's able to bring some information about whatever is around, meaning that you can have information on the events, you can have information on where to drop your recyclables, and you can even have some vouchers because you have dropped your recyclables at the right place. So definitely it brings a lot in terms of making the community stronger.
One thing I'm just interested in, I know we're out of time, so I'm going to stop then, but you have a lot of data you're gathering about experiences of your customers and citizens. Dr. Ali, you're obviously gathering data as well about, from the government point of view. Is there a way to bring it together in a sensible package? Is there a role for that?
Interesting. I was really paying attention to the last bit that you're saying there, because I will probably come and talk to you after. Because I'm also responsible in Smart Dubai for managing what the experience is like for the Smart City platform. And a big part of that is the dashboard, the Dubai dashboard you just mentioned. So one way of making people happy is to actually provide things for them, but another way is to inform them. Inform them in two different ways. At a personal level, I might want to know about something, but also in terms of innovation, which is what this conference is about. I can use that data to go and create yet more happiness somewhere else. So it's extremely valuable. You know, when it comes to smart cities, it's all about data, but it's all about data for people.
Yep.
And this is the key sort of focus for the smart city platform. And actually, I was really heartened to hear my colleague Sulaiman talk about, forget about the technology. Yes, he's a technologist and a very good one, but what does it do for me as the experience? And that lovely example of the lost child with the sort of halo of light showing that's where the attention should be for all this. That's a great example, by the way.
So we have a great example of a lost child with a halo, and we have about, I think, 5 minutes for questions or thoughts or ideas about how we can boost happiness in innovative ways. So if you have a question, please put your hand up. We have one over here. Yeah, she's waving, 2 hands up.
Hi, my name is Marie, and there's been quite a bit of writing about mindfulness and meditation, and I was wondering if anybody's been looking into this or starting to do something about this.
Yeah. So mindfulness meditation in a very fast-paced city. How could governments or the private sector use that? Should they use it? Anybody want to take a crack at that one? I can see Ghazi's looking enthusiastic about it. So,
thank you for that, Conor. Appreciate it. I think this is one of many things that you can do to contribute to happiness. There's not much to say about a specific experience or initiative area, but rather than saying if you're looking at happiness across the city or across an organization or across a district, it's not very different. It's just that your goals are slightly smaller or bigger, and the requirements would probably include things like well-being, as well as health, as well as satisfaction at work, and so on. Depending on what your experience goals are, your happiness goals are, break them down into experience them, and break them down into initiatives and put in the building blocks for that, and that will allow you to put in place the roadmap for sustainable happiness. That would include wellness and health, and so not really much to say specifically on that matter other than how can it be part of a sustainable happiness roadmap across whichever area you are covering.
That's a good point, actually. I mean, what's interesting about mindfulness, I think, is that a bit like happiness overall, it can get a bit dismissed sometimes as being by people who are a bit cynical about it. But actually right now, as Ghazi kind of alluded to, people are asking how can you embed that into a wider plan. So in several countries, they're testing out mindfulness courses and applications as part of formal education, and whether that can promote positive mental health. So in the mental health debate, it's not only about preventing mental disorders, mental illnesses, but also about promoting more positive mental health in schools. And people are now sampling mindfulness apps as a way to do that. So it's definitely a space worth watching, I think, in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think that's the case also in the federal agenda in terms of awareness and in schools and workplace for meditation. Of course, let's not forget that a big part of the culture here in Dubai is prayer, and prayer is a form of meditation. It's not separate to it.
Absolutely.
So it is part of it. But importantly for us at Smart Dubai is how do we bring in smart technology to help with the benefits of meditation, of course, and they're well known.
And we can see already, I guess, applications being launched for mindfulness. They're being trialed, tested, evaluated. A lot of debate about how they should be done, but there's definitely a role for that, I assume.
Not on that one directly, but of course Dubai Now is an ongoing project as an all-encompassing government app. So
we had a question in the middle. We have one here as well.
I am Sister Terry. My question, I appreciate very much about the lost child, but somehow I would identify that as concern, thoughtfulness, and love. Where there is love, thoughtfulness, and concern, I think there is happiness. The second point that I want to bring out is about the children, our children. Do we bring happiness to them every day? That's a question that right now I'm thinking about. To our employees, do we positively, emotionally, and psychologically expose them to positive thinking and feelings every day?
Actually, the child question is very important because essentially the best way to encourage a happy population is to encourage a happy population of children that will then remain happy and go on to be even happier. Anybody have any thoughts in regards to children in particular about certain things that could be done in Dubai, in UAE?
From Expo, actually, we have one of the districts specified only for children because we are expecting somebody to come to the site from morning till the evening. So we have a whole area only children district that all the children could utilize certain gamifications using certain technology and could be engaged with the knowledge base so that they can enrich their knowledge about different relevant areas, which is relevant to our themes. What mobility means, what is sustainability means, what is opportunity means. And this will be connected again with the data that will be shared across the whole government, for sure with the support of Dubai, Smart Dubai, and how that collaborations, because we don't see ourselves as an event. We are saying as how we can evolve and enrich the society with the knowledge. And that will not be happening only from contributions from Expo, that will happen from Expo, our partners, our engagement, government entities, and different stakeholders.
Absolutely.
And that's actually a really good point that the legacy of Expo isn't just the physical and the technological, it's the cultural legacy. And especially if they can showcase that emphasis on experience and on happiness, that's a wonderful legacy to have behind.
Related to the legacy, it's good that actually we didn't open the doors yet, but we have a whole divisions concerning about legacy. Legacy in terms of the economics, social, educational, and also culture, how we can work. So we are working currently from now, before opening the gates, what is the legacy plan that's happening? And this is when, again, it will happen with all the contributions from different parties.
Yeah, I'd like to comment on the last point. I don't know if you guys can hear me. just on the employees. So we've recently launched out what we call the performance development tool. Basically, it's an app on the phone of every employee. And the basis of that really is how do we develop trust between employees? And there's two books that really influence the GE thinking. One is a book called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, of which there's the Lancioni model, which basically talks about trust being the foundation of any relationship between a group and a team. And then another book that talks about the team of teams. And basically, it talks about, how do you bring down the barrier or the fear of vulnerability, the fear of conflict, and how do we make our, all of our collaborations together without, any fear. So I'd be able to comment on something that you've done, right, through this app. So I could send you what we call an insight, or I could send you what we would call also a consider. So, could you consider doing something in a different way, for example? So how do we promote that dialogue between our employees? And then also, so to bring down the vulnerability as a manager. So typically, you do that 360, for example.
We all enjoy that.
Exactly, which maybe you do it, once a year maybe, and you don't know who said what, you just kind of get the feedback. But now through this app, I know what your considerations are to me. So as a manager, I'm being vulnerable to my employees to tell me what they think I should be doing differently. And then when we do our culture, the survey, the opinion survey, one of the questions are, how vocal can you be with your manager? Can you push back? Can you give ideas? Can you give suggestions? So by